Now, as January 2019 is now coming to an end, there is just one particular thing that I would like to talk about before we then enter the next month of the new year. A lot of people during this month have been complaining to all hell that this particular weapon, the Kensa Sloshing Machine, or I guess the Sloshing Machine in general, has become one of the biggest nuisance in competitive Splatoon. Now you may ask, why in the world would people be complaining about the Sloshing Machine when it's been out for since, I guess the game came out like a year and a half right now? And I honestly think it's just a thing where people are now just beginning to realize the true power of this weapon, since I guess the Kensa Sloshing Machine has a really good kit to complement its Slayer-like abilities. Before we get into that, let me just show you how the Sloshing Machine works. It is a 2 to 3 shot kill depending on whether you go direct. A direct hit does 76 damage and a partial hit only does 38. So basically if you do 3 partial hits, this will become a 3-shot kill, but if you do a partial hit and a direct hit, or a direct hit and a partial hit, then that will be a 2-shot kill. The Sloshing Machine basically is the rapid blaster of sloshes. One of the amazing qualities about this weapon is its movement speed while shooting. This slosher is one of the fastest moving sloshes in its category, which in a Slayer type way is very, very good. So when it comes to dealing with foes at close range, it has no problem doing this. Another extremely good quality about this weapon is its range. This weapon, while jumping, is able to match the range of a H3 nozzle nose. Although it may not be able to direct, it can still get its partial hits onto the opponent. Now the last thing I would like to talk about is the projectile radius range of the Sloshing Machine. So basically, if I am standing, I guess, right here, I guess in between where, I guess, my slosh will land and where my foe is, I will still be able to hit the opponent. And why this thing mainly is becoming such a problem is because it is a lot wider than a lot of people may think. At this point, I'm not even aiming at the projectile slash dummy because my projectile radius range is so wide. Now you may think, why in the world is that such a problem? Because, you know, honestly, I think that's a great quality that the Sloshing Machine has, despite it being a little bit too wide. But the main thing is when it comes to close range battles, because primarily this weapon was supposed to be more mid-range compared to short range. Having the wide radius like this makes it almost impossible for you to actually lose your closer range battles, since there's such a huge radius that's actually just traveling towards the opponent. Now, combine all these good qualities about the Sloshing Machine. It has amazing close range capabilities. It has really, really good long range capabilities. It has really, really good movement options. And to top that off, it has an extremely good kit for a Slayer. I mean, despite Splashdown being, I guess, somewhat weaker compared to other Slayer weapons, how people have been using it a lot more is using it through Super Jump, so you can't actually get killed in your Splashdown, which I have no problem with. I also don't really have a problem with its sub-weapon, but Fizzy Bombs at this point, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a nerf to them. And the main problem with Fizzy Bomb is the amount of ink coverage that it can output for much less ink for a lower cost compared to a regular bomb. So just to show you guys a comparison, this is a suction bomb, and this is the amount of ink coverage it puts onto the floor, and this is how much it costs to use it. This is almost 70 to 75% of your ink tank. Now here's a Fizzy Bomb, which is a completely different story. This is the amount of ink coverage that it's going to output. It first does this thick line going through, and when you get up to the third charge, this is the amount of ink coverage it's going to lay down. And this is how much this costs. This is around 55 to 60% of your ink tank. And you're pretty much doing this amount of ink coverage onto the floor with a Fizzy Bomb compared to a suction bomb, which only does a little patch. This is honestly why I think the Fizzy Bomb in general is probably going to be nerfed extremely hard in an incoming patch. For the Sloshing Machine, on the other hand, I definitely feel like its projectile radius range is going to be nerfed extremely hard. I have a feeling that maybe its movement speed might be affected in this as well. And for some reason, I also have a feeling that maybe its range might be a little bit tweaked. You may wonder also why I haven't really included the splash damage with the Sloshing Machine. And honestly, I don't even think the splash damage is the problem, because looking at how it works with the Sloshing Machine, it doesn't seem to be much of the problem. I actually think the splash damage from the Sloshing Machine is at a pretty fair range. It's not too far and it's not too close in, so I think that's gonna be completely fine, and I don't see the developers actually changing this. Apart from that, right now, the Sloshing Machine, I gotta say, is the strongest Slayer weapon in the game currently. Despite it being more midline than anything, it has very, very good capabilities to deal with any target, long or short range. And while I'm saying this, I have loads of feelings that it's going to be nerfed hard in the next patch. So currently, if you're watching this video in this current day, go ahead, use this weapon as much as you can before the nerf hammer comes straight in to basically nullify most of its extremely good capabilities right now. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys understood and actually got to see why this weapon in particular right now is so strong compared to other weapons in the game, and like, I guess now why in this meta where you're seeing so many Sloshing Machines. With all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're feeling generous. Make sure to hit the notification button or /bell button to be notified of whenever I go live and stream, and also to be notified of whenever I make a video. With all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I shall see you guys in a future video.